in the last 15 years, NASCAR has made, monumental strides as far as popularity, fan base, just overall exposure. Relevance. It's gone from something that was totally obscure that you couldn't find on TV if you wanted to something you see on multiple channels, and you see their drivers on commercials, you see highlights on ESPN. NASCAR is really, in the last 15 years, has stepped up to be, popularity-wise, one of the major sports in America. However, that's the only thing that's stepped up. Their standards, their testing, their rules and regulations, all that stuff is still behind. All that stuff needs to catch up with everyone else. It's totally irresponsible. And it's inexcusable, really, to not have any sort of drug test. To be in a sport, to be a professional athlete for 10 years and not taking one drug test ever? Is there any other way to say, we just don't care? When you are testing up to the level that the WWE is, there you go. All other major sports test, not NASCAR, they don't test for anything. Tony Stewart says, I would love it. These are guys begging to be tested. Unlike baseball guys, when they're players union and everywhere, you fought, tooth and nail on being tested. Oh, don't test us. Don't test us. We're all doped up. NASCAR guys are like, please. We are racing around high speeds, and we have these junkies out here on the racetrack, all droopy-eyed. Tony Stewart says, I would love it. I've never been asked to take one yet. I think it should be mandatory to have random drug testing. I think it's a great idea. The fight situation shows that as an organization, we're not doing a good job of seeing this before it happens. Absolutely. Except, one thing I take issue with, forget random drug testing. In Shauna, NASCAR is a sport. It really is. And NASCAR is a sport done by athletic guys. It's competition. It's athletic competition. To me, that qualifies as sport. That's how I justify. That's why I say golf isn't. Golf's a hobby. It's a game, not a sport. That's not athletic competition. Fat guys can golf. Old people can golf. Old people can golf. But if anybody at 85 can do something better than I can now, not a sport. I can beat any 85-year-old at any sport in the world. But an 85-year-old could beat me in golf, therefore it's not a sport. That's my logic behind the whole thing. And it's right. It's absolutely right. But I don't agree with the random drug testing. I think that there needs to be constant drug testing. Forget random. Constant. Let them know that they're going to be tested. Test them once a week. Most of these guys won't care. They would rather it be that way. The drivers would rather you test them all the time. Get all the trash balls off the track. Kevin Harvick takes a somewhat of a shot here that I think is kind of funny. Says, I had a long talk with NASCAR about this last year. It almost seems like it fell on deaf ears. They were more mad that I had a reaction to the situation than they were about trying to move forward. They heard what I said, but my name's not Jeff Gordon. I'm disappointed that we have to react and answer all these questions again. But my name's not Jeff Gordon. Like, if it wasn't Kevin Harvick, if it was Jeff Gordon talking to NASCAR, they would have definitely listened. They would have definitely listened to him, but not Kevin Harvick.